The Galactic Council erupted into chaos as alarms blazed and holograms flashed red, warning that humans had just unlocked the forbidden dark energy power sealed away eons ago to prevent the destruction of reality itself. Now those primitive apes threatened the entire universe. Grand Counselor Primus, a towering reptilian draconis, slammed a clawed fist on the obsidian podium. His amber eyes flashed as he silenced the panicked cacophony of voices from the various alien representatives. Some screamed for the extinction of the human species, others urged caution and deliberation. Primus growled that they must uncover how the humans acquired this devastating Omega protocol before deciding their fate. Light years away on Earth, maverick xenoarchaeologist Dr. Michael Reyes, hunched over an pulsing obsidian cube in his lab, sweat beading his brow. Glowing alien glyphs etched into the cube's surface shifted and swirled. This ancient alien relic, dug up on a remote dead world, was the key to unlocking the dark energy secret, but in doing so, Reyes had just painted a target on humanity's back. The survival of the human race now depended on him unraveling the cube's cosmic mysteries before the Galactic Council arrived to eliminate the threat. Michael's eyes remained locked on the pulsing obsidian cube, its glowing glyphs casting an eerie light across his face. He reached out to touch the artifact, mesmerized by its power, when the lab door exploded inward. Shards of metal flew through the air as a strike team of reptilian draconis warriors stormed inside. Plasma rifles raised. Dr. Michael Reyes, surrender the Omega Protocol cube immediately, Commander Zorgax ordered, his voice a guttural growl. By order of the Galactic Council, you are under arrest for unlocking forbidden technology. Michael's heart raced as he clutched the cube to his chest. He knew he couldn't let it fall into their claws. The fate of humanity depended on it. His eyes darted to a seemingly innocuous button beneath his desk. I don't know what you're talking about, Michael said, slowly edging his hand towards the hidden switch. This is just an archaeological find. It's harmless. Zorgax snarled, his amber eyes narrowing. Do not take us for fools, human. We know the cube's true nature. Hand it over or face the consequences. Michael slammed his fist on the button, and a blinding flash of light engulfed the room. The strike team recoiled, shielding their eyes. When the light faded, Michael and the cube had vanished. Disoriented, Michael stumbled as he materialized in a dimly lit underground bunker. The cube slipped from his grasp, clattering to the floor. Easy there, my boy, a familiar voice said. That teleporter can be quite jarring. Michael looked up to see his mentor, Professor Xander Roth, standing before him. Xander's weathered face creased with concern as he helped Michael to his feet. Professor, what's going on? How did you... There's no time to explain, Xander interrupted. We must secure the cube. It's more dangerous than you realize. Xander led Michael deeper into the bunker, where a group of scientists huddled around a holographic display. They looked up as Michael approached, their expressions grim. Michael, I'm afraid you've stumbled upon something far beyond our understanding, Xander said, gesturing to the display. The Omega Protocol, as it's called, is an ancient dark energy technology capable of unraveling the very fabric of reality. Michael's eyes widened. But how? Why was it hidden on that dead world? The cube is just one piece of the puzzle, Xander explained. There are 2 more components scattered across the galaxy. If all 3 are brought together, the Omega Protocol will be fully unlocked, and the consequences could be catastrophic. Back on the Council station, Primus slammed his fist on the obsidian table, his claws gouging deep scratches into its surface. You let the human escape with the cube? He bellowed at Commander Zorgax. Your incompetence has jeopardized the safety of the entire galaxy. Zorgax bowed his head, his scales flushing with shame. Forgive me, Grand Counselor. The human had a hidden teleportation device. We were caught off guard. Primus's eyes blazed with fury. I want that human found, and I want the cube retrieved. Dispatch every elite agent we have. Scour every corner of the galaxy if you have to. We cannot let the humans acquire the other components. As Zorgax left to carry out his orders, Primus turned to the other council members, his voice dripping with suspicion. This human could not have acted alone. Someone must be aiding him, perhaps even someone within this very council. Murmurs of unease rippled through the gathered representatives. Eyes darted back and forth, searching for any sign of betrayal. From this moment forward, trust no one, Primus declared. The humans have shown their true colors, and we must be prepared for the worst. Light years away, Michael and his team boarded a sleek, unmarked spacecraft. As the engines roared to life, Michael clutched the cube close to his chest, the weight of the galaxy's fate resting on his shoulders. Little did he know, the true danger lurked not only among the stars, but also within the shadows of his own species. Michael's spacecraft hurtled through the void of space, its engines humming with urgency. The sleek vessel carved a path towards Xenos Prime, a desolate and unforgiving world where the second piece of the Omega Protocol lay hidden. Michael pored over the ancient star charts, his brow furrowed in concentration. Professor Xander Roth, his mentor, studied the holographic display of the planet's surface. "There," Xander said, pointing to a series of ruins etched into the planet's crust. "Those structures match the descriptions in the ancient texts. That's where we'll find the component." As they approached Xenos Prime's atmosphere, a blaring alarm filled the cockpit. A sleek Draconis ship appeared on the radar, already descending towards the planet's surface. "Damn it," Michael cursed. "The Galactic Council beat us here." The spacecraft shuddered as it plunged through the turbulent atmosphere, its hull groaning under the strain. Michael gripped the controls tightly, guiding the ship towards a narrow canyon. Jagged rock formations loomed on either side, threatening to tear the vessel apart. "Hold on!" Michael shouted as he banked hard, narrowly avoiding a collision. The ship touched down on a rocky plateau, kicking up a cloud of red dust. Michael and his team quickly disembarked, checking their equipment and surveying their surroundings. The ruins of the ancient civilization stretched out before them, a maze of crumbling structures and alien architecture. A piercing screech echoed through the canyon, sending shivers down their spines. A flock of winged creatures, all razor-sharp talons and leathery wings, descended upon them. Michael and his team opened fire, energy weapons sizzling through the air. The creatures fell one by one, their lifeless bodies crashing to the ground. Pressing forward, they navigated the treacherous terrain, leaping over chasms and scaling sheer rock faces. The ruins grew closer, but so did the sound of approaching footsteps. Dr. Zahn and his team of Draconis soldiers emerged from the shadows, their weapons trained on Michael's group. "Dr. Reyes," Dr. Zahn hissed, his reptilian eyes gleaming. "I should have known you'd be foolish enough to come here." Michael stepped forward, his hand resting on his holstered blaster. "Dr. Zahn, I can't let you take the Omega Protocol component. You don't understand the consequences." Dr. Zahn laughed, a cold and mirthless sound. "Oh, I understand perfectly. The Omega Protocol is a weapon, Reyes, a weapon that could ensure Draconis dominance over the galaxy." "No," Michael replied, shaking his head. "It's not a weapon, it's a failsafe created by the precursors to protect us from something far worse." Dr. Zahn's eyes narrowed. "The Void Devourer. Yes, I know the legend. A creature from beyond our reality, hungry for the energy of stars. The precursors used the Omega Protocol to banish it, sacrificing themselves in the process. But with the power of dark energy at my command, I could control the Void Devourer. I could harness its power for the glory of the Draconis Empire." Michael's grip tightened on his blaster. "You're insane, Zahn. The Void Devourer can't be controlled. It'll consume everything in its path, including you." A fierce battle erupted, energy weapons flashing and explosions rocking the ancient ruins. Michael and his team fought their way through the Draconis forces, dodging blaster fire and taking cover behind crumbling walls. In the chaos, Michael spotted the second Omega Protocol component, a glowing orb pulsing with dark energy. He lunged for it, his fingers closing around the artifact just as Dr. Zahn unleashed a barrage of blaster fire. Michael rolled to the side, the searing energy bolts missing him by inches. With the component secure, he signaled to his team, and they made a desperate break for their ship. As they blasted off from Xenos Prime, Michael stared at the pulsing orb in his hand. The haunting realization settled over him like a suffocating weight. By unlocking the Omega Protocol, they may have set in motion a chain of events that could spell doom for the entire galaxy. Light years away, in the shadows of Earth, the enigmatic figure known as the Director watched the events unfold on a holographic display. A cold smile played across his lips as he studied the chessboard before him, each piece representing a key player in the unfolding drama. "Everything is proceeding as planned," he murmured, his voice a whisper in the darkness. "Soon the Omega Protocol will be ours, and humanity will take its rightful place as the dominant force in the galaxy." With a flick of his wrist, he dismissed the hologram and turned to face the shadowy figures gathered around him. "Activate our moles within Reyes' team. It's time to sow the seeds of discord and sabotage the Galactic Council's efforts. The Shadow Consortium will rise and the galaxy will tremble before our might." Michael's heart pounded as he raced through the corridors of the Galactic Council research facility on Telos, the icy moon's surface a blur of white outside the reinforced windows. His team, armed with stolen Draconis weaponry, moved swiftly and silently behind him. They had come so far, endured so much, to reach this final component of the Omega Protocol. But the price of their quest weighed heavily on Michael's mind. The Shadow Consortium's machinations had plunged Earth into turmoil, with sanctions crippling the economy and unrest spreading like wildfire. The once peaceful relationship between humans and the Galactic Council had been shattered by a skirmish near the border, a human fleet armed with reverse-engineered alien technology clashing with a Draconis patrol. The incident had been the spark that ignited the powder keg. Primus, the Grand Counselor, had seized upon the opportunity to paint humans as a threat to galactic stability. The Council had voted to impose harsh sanctions, leaving Earth and its colonies reeling. Michael gritted his teeth as he approached the heavily guarded chamber, housing the final component. Enhanced Draconis super soldiers, their scales glinting in the harsh light, stood ready to defend the artifact with their lives. Advanced security systems hummed and pulsed, ready to incinerate any intruder. But Michael and his team were prepared. They had trained for this moment, honed their skills and their resolve. With a silent nod, they launched their assault, energy weapons blazing as they engaged the Draconis forces in a desperate battle. The chamber erupted into chaos, the air thick with the stench of ozone and seared flesh. Michael ducked and weaved, his weapon spitting bolts of searing energy as he fought his way towards the artifact. His team fought with equal ferocity, their loyalty and determination unwavering in the face of overwhelming odds. At last, Michael stood before the final component, its dark energy pulsing with an otherworldly glow. But as he reached for it, a voice rang out across the chamber. "Stop right there, Dr. Reyes." Michael spun, his weapon leveled at the figure emerging from the shadows. It was Primus himself, flanked by a contingent of elite Draconis guards. "You've caused quite a stir, human," Primus growled, his eyes narrowing. "But your little crusade ends here." Michael's grip tightened on his weapon. "You don't understand, Primus. The Omega Protocol is our only hope against the Void Devourer. We have to activate it before it's too late." Primus let out a harsh laugh. "You think I don't know about the Void Devourer? I've seen the same evidence you have, Reyes. But the Omega Protocol is too powerful to be entrusted to humans. Only the Draconis have the strength and wisdom to wield it responsibly." Michael shook his head. "This isn't about power, Primus. It's about survival. We have to work together or we'll all perish." As the two argued, the facility shuddered under a sudden impact. Alarms blared and the chamber filled with acrid smoke. The Shadow Consortium had launched their attack, tipped off by a mole within Michael's own team. In the ensuing chaos, Michael was faced with an impossible choice: save his team or secure the final component. With a heavy heart, he made his decision. The battle raged, energy weapons flashing and explosions rocking the chamber. Michael fought like a man possessed, driven by the knowledge that the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance. His team, battered and bloodied, rallied around him, their loyalty unwavering even in the face of certain death. In the end, Michael emerged victorious, the final component clutched in his grasp. But the cost had been high, too high. As he stumbled from the ruins of the facility, the weight of his choices bore down upon him like a physical burden. The stage was set for a final confrontation: the humans, the Galactic Council, and the looming threat of the Void Devourer. The fate of the galaxy would be decided, and Michael knew that he would be at the center of it all. Michael's heart pounded as he raced through the ancient precursor temple, the weight of the 3 Omega Protocol components heavy in his hands. The fate of the galaxy rested on his shoulders, and he knew that time was running out. The Void Devourer's presence grew stronger with each passing moment, threatening to tear the fabric of reality apart. As he reached the temple's central chamber, Michael skidded to a halt. Before him stood the combined forces of the Galactic Council and the Shadow Consortium, their weapons trained on him. Primus stepped forward, his reptilian eyes gleaming with determination. "Hand over the components, Dr. Reyes," Primus demanded. "The Omega Protocol is too powerful for humans to control." The director emerged from the shadows, a cold smile playing across his lips. "You've done well, Michael, but your journey ends here. The Shadow Consortium will take it from here." Michael's grip tightened on the components. He looked to his remaining allies, their faces etched with grim resolve. They had lost so much to reach this point, and he refused to let their sacrifices be in vain. "I can't let either of you have this power," Michael declared. "You'll only use it for your own gain, not for the good of the galaxy." The temple shuddered as the Void Devourer's influence seeped through the cracks in reality. Tendrils of darkness snaked along the walls, and the air crackled with malevolent energy. "Oh, you fool!" Primus roared. "Activate the protocol or we'll all be consumed." The director's eyes narrowed. "If you won't hand it over, we'll take it by force." The battle erupted, energy weapons flashing and ancient stone shattering under the onslaught. Michael dodged and weaved, his own weapon spitting bolts of searing light. His allies fought with desperate ferocity, but they were outnumbered and outgunned. As the Void Devourer's presence grew stronger, Michael knew he had only one choice. He raced to the temple's central altar and began assembling the Omega Protocol components. The dark energy pulsed and writhed, eager to be unleashed. "No," Primus shouted, lunging forward. "You'll destroy us all." But it was too late. Michael activated the Omega Protocol, and the world exploded in a blinding flash of dark energy. He felt the power surge through him, merging with his very being. He had become a conduit, a living weapon against the Void Devourer. With a primal roar, Michael unleashed the full might of the Omega Protocol. The dark energy tore through the Void Devourer's essence, pushing it back through the breach between dimensions. The temple shook and crumbled, but Michael stood firm, his body blazing with an otherworldly light. The strain was immense, and Michael felt his mortal form beginning to disintegrate. But he held on, pouring every ounce of his will into sealing the breach. With a final desperate push he succeeded, and the Void Devourer was banished once more. As the dark energy consumed him, Michael turned to Primus and the director, who stood in awe of his sacrifice. "This power is too much for any one species," Michael gasped, his voice echoing with the weight of the Omega Protocol. "You must work together, protect the galaxy, seal the protocol away." Primus and the director exchanged a glance, the gravity of Michael's words sinking in. They watched as the human who had unlocked the forbidden power faded away, his body dissipating into motes of dark energy. In the aftermath, a tenuous peace was forged between the Galactic Council and the human government. The Omega Protocol was hidden once more, its components scattered to the far reaches of the galaxy. But the sacrifice of Michael Reyes would never be forgotten, and his legacy would endure as a symbol of hope and unity in the face of cosmic threats. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.